where Belgian Prime Minister Bart de Wever has warned the European Union that using frozen Russian state assets to fund Ukraine could jeopardize a potential peace deal in the nearly 4-year conflict. In a letter to European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, de Wever says that moving forward hastily on the proposed $162 billion reparations loan scheme risks preventing an eventual peace agreement. European Union leaders previously attempted to approve the plan at a summit last month, but Belgium, which holds a significant portion of the frozen assets, withheld support. De Wever also notes that Belgium has not yet seen any proposed legal language from the European Commission regarding the scheme. The European Commission aims to address Belgium's concerns in a draft legal proposal set to be presented this week, outlining the use of frozen Russian sovereign assets to support Ukraine in 2006 and 27. I want to get in an opinion from you, Mr. Doctor, on this. Do you think the use of Russia's frozen assets is even viable to begin with?
There has been an attempt by the European Commission, headed by von der Leyen, to disguise essentially the confiscation of those assets by calling it a reparation loan and using these funds only as collateral. The Belgians understood the risks involved. Euroclear management also underlined the risks involved, since this is essentially transparent confiscation and it is illegal under international law. The risk to Belgium would be Russians would take them to court, would win in court, and Belgium would face a liability equal to 1/3 of its annual GDP. That, of course, in Belgium is totally unacceptable. This was the original argumentation that Mr. de Wever used. And yet, Madame von der Leyen, who is desperate to apply that funds, the $145 billion euros in the loan to Ukraine, which European countries themselves do not want to put up out of their taxpayer money. She was desperate to break down Mr. de Wever and to persuade him that the rest of the European Union will go along and provide the guarantees that he has requested. That is only her say-so. There is no evidence that the European 27 countries are willing to do that. But this is not the new development. What is stunning and shows unexpected and remarkable bravery of Mr. de Wever is the point that you've made at the start of this discussion. His introduction of a totally new issue in his refusal to go along with this scheme, and that is that taking this money would be essentially damaging the chances of success for the ongoing peace talks. That is exactly what Madame von der Leyen wants, and he has called her out in public. That took bravery, considering that 24 out of 27 European member state heads of government are not particularly brave. They are totally conformist. It was exceptional that this little country of 12 million people in a European Union of 450 million people is holding up the train, and holding it up for the very good reason. Mr. de Wever is in unusually good position to show this bravery, because this week was a very good week for him and for Belgium. He passed the 2026 state budget for Belgium 1 month before it's due, and including important reforms to pension law, to unemployment compensation, and other social benefits that are highly contested and highly resented by the labor unions. And we had on Wednesday the biggest general strike in Belgium since the 1980s. And he won. Mr. de Wever won. He passed reforms that have been kicked down the road for 20 years. He has done what Mr. Macron in France could not do. And so with this unusual strength, he has proceeded to challenge directly von der Leyen. Remarkable day.
But essentially, now we also saw how without Belgium's backing, Europe will not be able to move forward on von der Leyen's proposal. Do you think it's possible that the European Union could go ahead without Belgium's backing at all?
Impossible. This is the property of Euroclear, which is in the Belgian jurisdiction. So the notion that you could reach over Belgium and take the money is excluded totally. The point is that there are alternatives, and Madam von der Leyen mentioned 3 possibilities when she spoke a week ago. One of them is raised by Mr. De Wever. Well, if you want to do this, you want to support Ukraine, then let's have a mutualized loan that is all member states of the European Union participate in it according to their financial wealth and population, and we will put up 45 billion to keep Ukraine afloat for 1 more year. That is what he's proposed, but he knows very well that the European Union member states do not want to do that. Germany is against any mutual loans, and in general, the European Union does not want to attack taxpayer funds to finance Ukraine. That was the whole charm of stealing the Russians' state assets. The European taxpayers wouldn't be paying, so they thought. In any case, this means there will be essentially no money from Europe of any significance going to Ukraine, which hastens the capitulation that we spoke about a few moments ago.
All right. Well, I thank you, Gilbert Doctor,